Hello, everyone. Welcome, welcome, welcome. It is Sunday night. I am your friendly neighborhood Prax. Welcome to the channel. And you'll notice that I am not the center of attention tonight. Tonight, the center of attention is on Pope because he is the GM. I am just a friendly neighborhood player in this wonderful shenaniganry. So I'm going to kick the ball over to him. Yeah, small thing. It decided to mute you before you even started.
If again, it is not the internet, it is not streaming unless there is some sort of hiccup on opening night.
That's about right.
Hey everybody, Pope here. Pope World Build on the internets. Glad to be here with you. Yeah. Glad to be here with you, sharing a space opera story set in the Mass Effect universe, The Gathering Dark, with all these wonderful storytellers. So let's meet each of them, get a small, rough description of who they will be playing, and then we can get this party started. So let's go counterclockwise right now and start with Arvandus.
Oh, hey guys, this is Online Arvandus, real name Jesus, and today I am playing Kryn, a Hanar adept who is also a really good pilot. They like to think. And as for description, think of it as a rectangular jellyfish, or maybe more oval, with reddish, purplish skin, just floating along, having a good day, trying to survive.
Speaking of survival, hi PB. How you doing and who are you playing?
Hi, I'm doing well today, and today I'm going to be playing Esteli Leon. She is a human, and she is our resident human sniper, the token human, as we like to say, here of this group. They are, you know, just what an alien would believe a typical human to look like. Just average size, average height. You know, what are a couple of inches here and there to an alien Solarian? They have like medium, long, dark hair. You know the vibes. And they're here. They're ready to fuck some shit up with their sniper rifle.
A wonderful notion, considering that I would think in the Mass Effect universe that all humans are both naive in the eyes of the other races and absolutely horrifying. Someone who scoffs in the face of horror will be played by our favorite painting pirate. How are you doing? And who are you playing?
Hi, yes, I am Priskinius, aka the Painting Pirate, he and pronouns for both me, and Bars, who is my character I will be playing throughout this season. He is a Krogan soldier. And as far as description goes, basically take a bearded dragon, make it bipedal, stick it in heavy armor, and give it access to a whole bunch of grenades.
Someone who is ever so slightly less explosive. Lady, how you doing this evening, and who are you playing?
Hello, hello. Very excited for us to get started with this particular cast of characters. But hi, everyone. I'm Lady Luck 34, and I'm going to be playing Inost Tazik, who is a Solarian engineer. Which can make for very interesting dynamics on this party, and causing, I would say, probably about as like generic Solarian as you can be, but prepared for nonsense.
Yes, things are kind of unique and strange. Speaking of unique and strange, hi Prax, how you doing and who are you playing?
Oh, thank you for that wonderful intro. I am your friendly neighborhood Prax, or at Deirdre Donlin on Twitter. Welcome to the channel. Thank you for GMing this wonderful shenaniganry and promising lots of death at the same time. I am your friendly neighborhood Prax. I am playing Dr. Uthoro Sul, your Drell field medic sentinel. There's not. I'm sure everything will be fine.
What isn't fine is the state that the galaxy is in. Milky Way, she has had a rough go of it within the past 20 years. And for those of you who are familiar with Mass Effect, I will give you the date. The date is May 16th, 2186. A little over 3 months since the events of Mass Effect 2 Arrival happened. A very large explosion, one caused by a collision of a very large object into a Mass Effect relay, occurred, causing the deaths of hundreds of thousands of Batarian settlers. Now, this was caused by the hero of the Blitz, no less, Commander Jane Shepard. Someone who is known as a hero in Alliance circles and in certain parts of Citadel space. But previous heroism does not excuse something this dire. She is not appearing in this story. She is going to be stuck on Earth, dealing with the ramifications of certain choices. No, instead, we find ourselves this evening over on Ilium, a corporate-controlled world within the sphere of Asari space. It is almost glitzy, but in that overly modern sort of way. Lots and lots of corporate interests, commerce, all running about. And, well, each of these individuals already have stories. And they're all going to be interwoven here shortly. So, Doc, where do we find you on Ilium?
Ooh, on Ilium. Let us see. On Ilium, probably very much judging the current offerings for the medical enhancements. Oop, we lost the Mandy. Hopefully we'll be back very quickly. But I'm going to grab the phone and pop the thing, place saver in. So yeah, she is standing there in a full-length black leather jacket with the green of her scales is slightly more light olive than, say, a dark, rich hunter green. And she complements that with a bright, not bright, but like a nice wine-colored purple and black leather coat. And she is standing there looking at the offerings that are for sale and just judging the substandard quality that is in front of her at the moment.
Well, it is Ilium. So, while things may not be up to your standards, it is good enough for the standard corporate paper pusher that looks to have a little bit of enhancement in their life, whether it's slightly faster healing recovery times, more acute vision, maybe even being able to permanently change the color of one's nails, or the density of said nails, considering, well, all the many species of the Milky Way. But yeah, the prices are a little high. But again, it's Ilium. And so these can easily be obtained by somebody who has business on this business planet. Now I'm getting an echo. But that went away. Okay. So we see where the dock is. Where, in that case, do we find bars at this moment?
We find bars outside checking the name of it, outside of the Eternity Bar, rather fittingly with the name. He is currently locked in an argument with a bouncer outside of it. Bars is currently wearing, as always, wearing his heavy armor, which carries what can only be accurately described as a concerning number of scorch marks, and has clearly been patched and repaired many, many times over the history. He is engaged in an argument with the bouncer at the entrance, who is currently taking issue with the rather large lizard dog hybrid like creature that is at Bars's side, his pet Varen, who they don't really seem too keen on letting into the bar.
Yes, the reptilian hound, the Varen, a noble beast in certain circles, to other, the largest form of spatial vermin. Possibly, if they do not include Vorcha, our favorite, incredibly violent, pug-like sounding species, who are belligerent, numerous, and short-lived. As for the Varen, they live almost as long, if not longer, and are just as belligerent. Speaking of belligerence, where do we find Etzli right now?
You find Etzli outside, in like a secluded-ish area, out in like, in like large downtown skyscraper areas, how there's like locations in the middle of these large buildings that are supposed to be like a little bit more green so people can go out there and, forget the monotony and awfulness of just the corporate world. I'm in one of those areas off more secluded, doing a very loud whisper argument with this gentleman about a head taller than Esli. He also human. Looks very similar to Esli actually, but just younger. A little bit more green, and you just you'll hear snippets of just like, it's like, yeah, but the Mass Effect village was just literally blown up. How can you say you'll be fine out here? Go back home with the family. You'll be safe on Earth. It'll be better. You can even go off into the moon or whatever. I don't know where you want to go work, but you don't have to be here right now. And then you'll hear snippets about like something about an internship and once in a lifetime opportunity from the other individual in this argument. And that's where you find Ashley, just in this little gray area, scream whispering at her little brother.
I have already placed this specifically within the space of the game. For those of you at home who are hardcore fans, remember our two Ilium lovebirds in Mass Effect 2. There is a small little green area near them. This conversation is happening right there. So, not too far away. There may be two lovebirds. Again, time has passed where a Krogan and an Asari are exchanging poetry to one another. Maybe a couple of chocolates. So, as we pan away from those two scenes, where do we find Tazik?
Tazik is definitely browsing various wares of merchants, so in a commercial portion of the city, and maybe getting into arguments about what they may or may not have in the process, and is also being followed by a very large suit of power armor shaped like an Elcor. So kind of like a very intimidating bodyguard, but not. Doesn't quite connect the dots every time it steps up and a merchant gets a little less argumentative. But
yeah, but when the individual in question, that power armor is about the size of a mini, and can accelerate to the top speed of a mini, because it is power armor. That puts people slightly on edge. I have a question. Is Kryn slightly on edge when we find them?
Oh, Kryn is definitely on edge. Since I work with the doctor, with her medical practice, the doctor is of course there talking to an individual, the corporate side of, looking for proper medical equipment. I handle the more financial side because we need money to eat. So I am currently unwisely, some would say, in a darkened corner of this particular station in Ilium, or area of Ilium, surrounded by several scary-looking mercenary types, arguing with their leader about the fact that they have not yet paid for the services that the doctor had provided them, and tried to negotiate a price that we can both agree to that A, gets us paid, and B, doesn't involve me getting deflated.
I love this. I love this. You missed an amazing session zero, folks. So with this specific discussion,
Mhm.
Kryn, I would like you to make a persuasion roll, please.
Could I not? Okay, fine. Okay, all right. So it's gonna be persuasion +2 because I have a voice modulator.
Yes.
So, boom. That is that is a 14
14.
+2 is 16. I didn't know
Yeah.
how to include it with the item. I'll fix
No,
that
no,
later. But
don't worry about it.
yeah,
Like,
yeah.
16, respectable.
Okay. Yeah, so-
What one of the toughs that you're talking to, not the leader, just like leans in. Even through the helmet, you can tell this is a human.
Mhm.
It's going, boss. I think we should just take the deal. Like, we don't know how many guns he might have on him.
This one wants to assure you, you don't.
Like another one from behind just kind of claps the human. Um, not every one of them is Blasto.
You do not know. Blasto is based on a true story. This one was there and saw it. Blasto was the weaker of us.
Go ahead and give me an intimidate test, please.
That was a mistake. Okay, sure. All right. Let's see. What's mine? Okay, boom. Nat 20.
No, that's a dirty 20, but
I mean,
damn.
Okay, dirty 20, but still.
But with your voice modulator,
yeah,
I would think that would also apply for intimidate.
Okay, so
that would be a 22.
This one is assured that Blasto was the weakest of us.
The middle one just immediately starts tapping their Omni tool. You got the creds, and they are splitting off. And
as they leave, I start to, as soon as they get out of sight, I basically topple to the floor, just give myself, oh my god, that
happened. And as you do, there is just this very faint clap and chuckling.
Float back up and turn
from behind you, as a old familiar face to you, Kryn, shows up. They're in very corporate suit, but unlike them, instead of wearing a hood, this Solarian is wearing a modified fedora of all things, as Zevon Wicks, the private eye, comes up to you and goes, "That was hilarious."
Zevon, it is good to see you, and I hope you enjoyed my performance. I believe I almost was gutted there. This one believes they were almost gutted.
I was fairly certain that they weren't going to pull guns on you, but I wasn't certain whether or not one of them would try and, frisk you.
That would have been unfortunate.
But the business at hand is nearly ready to be transacted now that you've gotten your creds.
Truly.
Yes. Got news over my Omni tool that the ship is docked and ready for inspection.
That is fantastic.
How much shall we collect the doctor?
Of course. This one will guide you.
Excellent. And the two of them wander off. We cut back to the heated discussion outside of eternity. And Bars, you just hear from behind you, "Ain't worth it." And a familiar voice of Victor Grace. Besides, they don't have the good stuff in there.
Well, damn. Grace. Did not expect to see you here. Maybe you can tell them which of the two of us they should be more worried is gonna bite them.
Again, it's the little one's well behaved. This one, not so much. But let's get out of here. Besides, the ship that I just brought in has the good stuff. In fact, you guys got a lot of stuff.
What kind of stuff are we talking?
Something that will even make you a little tipsy, and then, the fun stuff, the stuff that goes boom.
Now you're talking my language. Let's go. Buttercup, come on.
Etsley, you get a quick, ping on your Omni tool as you're still discussing things. I believe this is the youngest brother?
Yes. My
Yes.
youngest brother, Manuel.
Yeah. As you're still having this back and forth with Manuel, just goes, this message, high priority. We're here. You definitely want to lie eyes on her. Just pings up, as well as giving you a docking number.
I'll hear the ding and I'll look down the same way you would look down at your phone when you get a quick message, and I look at the preview and I'm like, Manuel, I'm just call Javier. Call Javier. You know what? And I just take his arm and I dial Javier's number into his Omni tool. And I'm like, and you know what? Maybe for once in your life, just listen. Maybe just once. And Mom and Dad miss you. Go to Earth. If I hear you're still on here, so help me, I will come here and drag you home myself. Okay? So I gotta go. I love you. I miss you. And I give him I drag him down. I give him a kiss on the forehead, and I'm like, and I'll see you when I see you. And I slap his cheek a little bit, and I walk off.
Just as the slap connects, the message, the phone call comes through, and it's just like, Manuel, why are you calling it? Just at that perfect moment.
Manuel, ¿qué está pasando? No.
And Tozic, as you are having this impassioned discussion about what technologies this particular vendor carries, a familiar voice comes up to you and goes, my dear, they have absolutely nothing that you want.
Are you sure?
Yes, because most of the stock that you trade in, they have already sold out of. They've been sold out for almost a week.
Well, why didn't they say that to begin with?
Anyway, it is wonderful to see you. And I have it on good authority that the mercenary has brought your vessel in.
Before we head over there, would you happen to have an N25 capacitor? I'm running low.
Not on anything that I can disassemble.
I'll take the whole thing and disassemble it myself.
What you would be disassembling is considered an antique in certain circles.
Is the capacitor necessary for its antiqueness? Because I could put it back together without it, and it would still be fine.
Usually when someone is buying an antique, they want the entire thing and intact with all the original parts.
Okay, well, just keep it on your list. Give me a call if you get any extras.
Certainly, Tazik. Just let's go this way. As this older feminine Taurian walks with Tazik, dressed very, very well, even for Ilium, uh, is headed off to the docks. Um, Kryn, you and Wix end up finding the doctor.
Doctor,
Kryn,
it is time. The ship has arrived.
that's good. Don't try and... She, like, points at the Volus who's standing next to her. She's like, don't try and sell that. They'll come back in 5 minutes after it explodes in them, and then you'll have to worry about that lawsuit.
There's just that intake of air and then the distinctive sound of grumbling.
Also, you want to get your filter checked. That shouldn't sound like that. You don't want to end up in my hospital bed, right?
Further grumbling.
And she just kind of like turns and looks at Kryn and raises an eyebrow because she has the photo sensors, bioluminescent photo sensors surgery done, so she doesn't actually have to speak out loud to Kryn at any time because she can just understand all the modulations.
Okay. In that case, as soon as I turn around, as soon as you turn around and see me, I give the signal of like, deal went through. We got the money. Don't ask if someone says they're afraid of Blasto, it's because of me.
There's not a sigh, but there's a slight like, who would be afraid of Blasto? That you just see pass across her face. And she nods, and Jen just will follow you.
So, because I like this idea about who actually arrives first. So Bars, you're there with Grace, with Victor Grace. I want the for the audience, think a slightly younger, heavily bearded, definitely was paid to go under 3 months of bulking up for this role, Damian Lewis. Playing Victor Grace. Human wearing a Alliance Navy baseball cap, maybe similar to this one. And is also not quite as heavily armored as Bars. Close. Not nearly as ammoed up. You'd be able to see that it's got what looks like a holstered Matic, heavily modified, and a heavily modified scimitar shotgun. But that's seemingly it. As they walk towards the docks, and then we have the two of them walking side by side as we come on to this. How do I put this? It is a frigate. It is a frigate that has been through the ringer, but then refurbished. Like, has had extensive modifications and overhaul. Not necessarily as sleek the lines of the Normandy. Nowhere near as upgunned as the Normandy, because, well, the Normandy was partly designed by Turians, and Turians like to glass a planet 3 times over. That makes them happy. This is just good enough to glass a planet. So
as we approach, I like Bars will take an initial scan of kind of the work of this, and what assessment does he have as far as how well the people who retrofitted this knew what they were doing.
Go ahead and give me an electronics test. I want to see just how you get a lot of information.
19.
Yeah. Though you know how to work that Omni tool to actually do a deep scan. And this was done by pros. This was done by pros both well and fast. Not pretty.
Mhm.
You can only get two. This was done well and this was done fast. Like you're seeing that again, this is a Lacus class. It doesn't normally have an electronic counter weapons suite. This one does. Also, it looks like no credit was spared on amenities. This thing is nice. Also, has an extended range fuel cell on board. Though the thing that definitely catches your particular eye is there is a full armory and weapons range on board this vessel.
You know, when they contacted us for this job, I thought they were pulling us, but this is actually good shit.
Yeah, she doesn't fly half bad either. Could have a bit more armor plating. Drives not too finicky, but doesn't pull up as fast as I'd like to in a free fall. But otherwise, no, she's sweet. Also, considering that they gave you a fully stocked bar, I'm kind of jealous.
Wait, you're not coming with us?
Oh, hell no. That thing? Nah. I need something that, can glide, move. She is not entirely a brick, but she's close to one. She also hits about as hard.
Yeah, I forgot you're the fancy type.
Okay. The fact that I have been flying a frigate for the past 3 years as opposed to a fighter, and I haven't gone completely insane, is just a small miracle. But no, this thing, she's good. It's just she don't want to go fast. She wants to have you behind the guns blowing away whatever's coming at her.
This one might actually turn out to be fun.
Oh yeah, they've actually even put in the full Guardian package on her.
Damn, okay. No, they spared no expense.
So you two get on board before anyone else does. Where is Bars going to first?
First, he's going to. Have we been assigned quarters, or is it a first come, first serve type of situation? It
is first come, first serve.
Excellent. He is going to find whichever quarters are closest to the engine room.
Okay, there are two down there. There is one that is very, very wide space. It takes up a chunk of space within this vessel. It's relatively nice, except for one thing. The bathroom is a bit snug for you. The other room, not nearly as large. Even closer to the engine. Has that little bit of vibration, but you don't have as much space, but the bathroom is the right size.
He's definitely going to claim the second one. Yeah, he doesn't need a huge amount of space. He'll be fine. So he will set up in that and get his Varan companion situated who, it is worth noting, does have around the neck a collar made out of thick, welded together chain links with a plate on it that has stamped the word Buttercup. And we'll get his Varan situated before, well, depending on whether others arrive, we'll either take care of that and then go to check out the engine room, or we'll meet others as they come, depending on timing.
Next that arrives is Tazik and Malene Kirill, our elder Torian. As you come in outside, it's been like a good 5 minutes since Bars has gotten on. So this, I believe, is your vessel.
Some interesting attachments they've put on this, not typical for this class of ship.
All I know is that this job pays a good deal and is tied to some very powerful people. You sure you want to go through with this?
The amount of equipment that I can purchase afterwards, I'm sure it'll be fine.
I hope you're right. Speaking of which, do not forget to. Considering that this is a multicultural job and I have an idea of some of the people who will be aboard your vessel, I am concerned.
Well, all of the others have always told me that I'm a ray of sunshine, so I'm sure that this will work out fine, and I have plenty of experience working on drones, so I can fix all the things.
You are always a ray of sunshine. That is true. But as to the spectrum of your vibrancy, that remains to be seen. I wish you all the best. She leans down to like give you a very slight hug.
I think it would be like very awkward is a Solarian, so just probably like pat and then be like, give me a call if you get in more of those capacitors in. Also, I'll send you a list of anything else that I'm looking for because I need to take a look at what the heck they put into this ship and figure out if there are things we need to upgrade.
You part ways. Where are you going first as you board the vessel?
Probably going to wherever storage or the extra electrical equipment is kept at to start digging through it and see exactly what they've backed us up on.
So you go to the cargo hold. Okay, so first thing as you go into the cargo hold, you notice is the armory. This thing has full space for the modification of arms, armor, munitions, as well as the general sundries of modification of things that you would need aboard a vessel in deep space. You also see off to one side is the weapons range for testing. It looks like the internal armor of the vessel has been heavily reinforced, including a multi-layered shielded backstop for any form of rounds testing. Then, as you are looking for bits, bobs, and pieces, you go through the side door and into the main bay itself. There are a bunch of crates, most likely the things that you are looking for, but they're in the bay is a Mantis gunship.
So Tazik would have probably like opened one or two of the crates to see what's inside and is just like yelling slightly off to the back at the power armor. Argos, there's so many things we're going to be able to do. I've been wanting to upgrade so that you can have a higher carrying capacity, and then turns and sees the gunship and is like, and just runs forward and like hugs a piece of it.
And on this beautiful note, I can just see like the four landing gear being hugged by a tiny Solarian. Um, Next is Wix, Kryn, and the Doctor all arriving.
So this one is our ship behind the asteroid?
No, this is your ship.
It's going to fly like an asteroid. This is I prefer something much flashier and able to move through space, but okay. This one is will accept. Oh boy, I'll have to do some work. That's when we'll have to do some work.
I have been reassured that this thing has a decent communication suite, is able to handle multiple forms of combat, and doesn't have too much of a wiggle when it comes to landing.
The, the fact they had to mention the word wiggle makes this one worried.
The shakedown pilot was a human.
Oh, humans accept anything. Very well.
The more pressing question is, what is the quality of medical?
Oh, right. I need to send you that document. And just like makes a gesture, flings over Doc the specs for this thing actually has a full med bay. Normally, this ship wouldn't. It would have a tiny, tiny, like, nursing office. This has a full bay. You actually have multiple medical beds, fully outfitted, as well as a number of extra emergency supplies.
And how much am I going to have to adjust for climate control?
Now, life support is customizable in each portion of the vessel, so you should have full climate control.
How many species am I caring for?
They did not divulge that.
And there's just like this eyebrow raise, like full shift of the like upper vent scales at Kryn. Like, that's something we should have known. I need to. I will inspect the accommodations of their medical facility, and just like walks through and doesn't even look.
Again, this is a good job, and I have been reassured by Bar Levon himself that should you complete at least 2 of the missions that they're asking for, that the information that we're both looking for, they'll be able to get a hold of.
This is well. This is what we need.
Excellent. Well, I will say everything has gone exceptionally well to Mr. Vaughn, and leave you to it.
And then there's a pause, and she'll come back. It's like, reminds Mr. Vaughn that he needs to take his meds 3 times a day, not twice. And then she walks back into the meds bay.
Mr. Vaughn always comes back with complaints about being sick, even though he does. You know what? I'm gonna walk. He just floats away.
So, Doc, I have an idea of where you're going to first. Kryn,
Yes.
where are you going to first?
The bridge.
You want to go through decontamination in progress. You are right there. And they have done significant modifications to make certain that you are comfortable flying this vessel.
This one appreciates the work put in. Usually this one has to deal with those with more humanoid make. This one can definitely work with.
Yeah, no, this has fully customizable crash couches for everyone who is on board. And then the other thing that you will appreciate with just the helm is that there is a full suite of omni projectors to be able to handle your appendages, and it looks like it has customizable feedback, so you can adjust to up to the thousandth of a second, as well as to almost the micron when it comes to touch and gesture.
This one is going to impact my enemies with Blasto level terror.
Now, this one has a definite modified, more Asari style of command layout aboard the vessel, unlike you see in the Normandy, where it's like you have the helm, a number of technician or gunnery seats, and then it opens up into the nav station. Nope, everything is there in the floor. That way, it's better armored. In all a singular compartment, as opposed to stretching things out. So you have, instead of this sort of pit for your galaxy map, it's more off to the side, in a sort of more almost humanoid standard hollow projector screen. And you have, along that, you have a place for a seat for your comms that also handles nav. And then behind them, also behind the helm, is whoever's handling your electronic weapons suite, which is extensive and takes up that entire side.
This one is impressed. May fly like an asteroid, but can hit like a asteroid. This one must work on their humor.
And as we part from our favorite Hanar, we meet the doc in the medical bay. Everything has been thoroughly sanitized. Also, this thing is very well kept, very well, supplied, but also can be turned quickly into a death trap, as its biological and sanitation protocols is enough to vaporize any organic material.
She appreciates that. She will glance around and I think using one of the stations in the med lab, call up the life support system to start running diagnostics on the actual life support system within the ship. To also just kind of like get a gauge of like how many people are on board the ship, what species are on board the ship, all of these kinds of things.
As you interact, you get the ship's VI. Greetings, I am Norbert, the ship's VI. I see that you are looking for species type aboard the vessel currently.
Yes, I need to evaluate and make sure I have all the appropriate medical equipment for all of them. Greetings, Norbert. I am Dr. Othuru Sol.
Greetings, Dr. Sol. Loading. Permissions unlocked. Yes, currently there is a Hanar, yourself, Solarian, Varen, human, and a Krogan on board this vessel.
Where is the Varen?
With the Krogan.
Oh, at least that's a positive. Would you be so kind as to connect me to the Krogan?
Connecting. Now, you get a ping bars as this. It's not the typical ball. It's a cube with a little bow tie. Hi, I am Norbert, the ship's VI. Dr. Sewell is attempting to speak with you.
Of course it's got a VI. Yeah, fine, sure. Patch him through.
Patching through now. You hear on both ends as you are connected.
Greetings, I am Dr. Thurosul. Just confirm for me, please, that the Varen is your accompaniment and I am not required to provide medical treatment, or do you wish for me to also add care for that creature as well?
Her name is Buttercup,
It's a pleasure to meet her.
and she'll be fine. I can take care of her.
Very good. I will just ensure that we have appropriate Krogan, Solarian, Human, Hanar, and Drell requirements. Are there any special medical needs I need to be aware of?
We've got a Solarian. Of course, we have a Solarian. No, I'm fine, Doc.
If you are going to attempt to involve yourself in violence this early, please be aware that I have not yet upgraded the surgical suite to my specifications. I don't want to perform surgery this early.
Doc, you have a little pop-up from your VI. Would you like me to start playing soothing music within a proximity of the Krogan?
She looks at that and raises an eyebrow and is like, no. And instead, it has this brief, like, reaches out with her offhand and just types off quickly. It's like, don't bother the Krogan with soothing music. Please gift them some very... only adjust their audio tastes to their requests. You were programmed by a human, weren't you?
Yes.
And it shows. And then she'll like go back to like the comments, like, apologies for that. I was updating the VI on certain medical requirements. Please do let me know if there's any further thing I can do for you. And like she'll click off really quickly and just kind of walk out of the med lab and into the hallway to be like, and I am here in case things go very badly.
As the call hangs up, Bars just grumbles to himself and goes back to unpacking his case, which has now opened up to a large, bright pink animal bed that has been set out on the floor, which has the word Buttercup embroidered over the front of it. And leaves at this point, locks the door behind him, and will make his way towards the engine room.
Just as you lock the door behind you, there is on your desk in your quarters, there is a hollow tablet that looks like a book, and brings up an inventory of safe culinary treats on board the vessel for Buttercup that you will find when you return. Pack bonding is important. So now, Itzli, you finally are coming up and seeing this vessel in front of you. I would love to get your reaction.
Esley is rolls up, has like a half drunk iced coffee in one hand and like a just like a regular just plastic bag in the other, carrying some stuff, and looks at the ship, looks it up and down, and like tries to get a good view of where any weaponry would be.
Go ahead and give me an engineering test. But give it to me with well, you don't need advantage. You got a net 20. Okay. This thing is, for its class, it is well outfitted. But also, you notice that most of its gun ports are hidden. This thing has multiple anti-fighter machine cannons along the spine of the vessel.
And as I'm looking at it,
Torpedo
I'm just
tubes.
like, it's kind of
Um,
smaller than
the
I thought it was going to be.
underside- Yes. The underside has the full-on Guardian interceptor system. This thing is able to target 4 objects within roughly a kilometer range to try and nullify. This can be used offensively or defensively. The thing that strikes you is that they hid even this. Other things that you will notice about this vessel is it has a booty. This bird has a loading bay that's large enough for like to come out of it. So, no, this thing is upgunned, not necessarily up armored, but definitely upgunned.
And I'll spend like an extra tick looking at it as I process all of that, and I'm like, well, at least they're not sending us out there in a shitty weapon. And I send a message back to the person who originally told me to come look at the ship, and I'm like, all my stuff here. And
as you're sending that message, Grace walks off the ship. Yeah, your stuff's already here.
All right, good. Glad to see that even in the middle of the universe imploding on itself, shipping soul is same day. And I'll go up and I'll do the grasp forearm shake.
She's a good bird, just not necessarily a swift bird. You're definitely going to want to tool around with the anti-fighter guns. They're definitely not calibrated to your specifics. But, I mean, you got 10 disruptor torpedoes on this bad boy. So, if you need to, make something hurt and run, she's more than capable.
I sure hope so, with wherever the hell they're going to be sending us. You wouldn't happen to know anything about it, would you?
Yeah, but I've been paid an awful lot not to divulge a whole lot.
Not even to an old friend. Unbelievable.
Especially not to an old friend.
And I'm like, you sticking around Ilium for a while?
No, I need to get my happy ass back to the Myrmidon. If I don't, either the captain will have repainted her yet again, or the damn Pyjack will have shat all over my room. So no, I definitely need to get back to my ship.
Makes sense. Where are you heading to? Where's the next port?
Next port, I think we're heading to Luna of all places. Something old went off.
Damn, back home? All right.
Yeah, it's something old, it's something corporate, and they're paying.
Fair enough. Look, all I'm saying is I've got a brother I'm trying to force back home. You taking any
you do not want him within 10 steps of my crew. Um, like, Diamant will fleece him for every single cred that kid has, whether it's legitimately at cards or illegitimately through harebrained schemes.
I mean, he always says he's some financial genius, so maybe he needs to be humbled a little bit. That's all I'm saying.
There's humbled and then there's bankrupt. I don't want to do that to friends, even friends, family, unless that's you really want to bankrupt your brother.
No, he's barely got anything as is. He's not getting paid for this stupid internship, no matter what he says.
He's an intern on Ilium?
Yeah. Yeah. Fucking tell me about it.
A human
Yep.
interning on
Mhm.
Ilium.
Yeah. Yep.
What if Sari has a crush on your brother?
I don't know. Enough for him to have dragged his ass all the way out here, despite all of us telling him to stay back home. Let me tell you.
I mean, kind of jealous, to be honest, but I mean,
Don't
good for
let him hear
if
you
he
say
can
that.
shake his little money maker for that kind of gig.
Don't let him hear you say that. He'll just we're trying so hard. Mom and dad are gonna have an aneurysm if he doesn't get back home. Do you think I can convince the Asari to go home with him?
Depends on the Asari. Like, if they built up a life here, no way in hell. If they are smitten and they're young enough, oh hell yeah.
Definitely something to think about then. Well, I'll let you go off. Thanks for the recommendation, I guess.
No problem. Definitely eclectic crew. They seem to be moving all in. And just I'll tell you this. One of the jobs is going to be deeply unpleasant.
Well, when the world's going to shit, I guess you gotta be willing to wait in it.
Yeah, but that's some strange, possibly nasty bullshit. Just be careful.
Yeah, you too, man. This shit going down, things exploding all over the place.
Shouldn't be nothing that you can't handle. Anyway,
I'm more worried about you. I can handle myself.
If she gives your pilot any sort of problems, I did make a small like series of suggestions about upgrades. She can't handle too much more modification, but there's still a bit of room. As for the engineering side, I'll leave that to you and your crew. But the amenities are super sweet, and I was paid extra not to get into them.
Well, shit. All right. Well, it's good seeing you again. Stay safe.
One last secret. There is a small set of quarters top of the vessel. You have to use a ladder to get up there. You probably want that one.
Hell yeah, I do. I'll make sure to go snag that up right now before anyone else does.
All right. Take care.
And I'll walk in and I'll beeline it straight for that room. Make sure it's still empty.
As you rush past, like I'm just picturing like Etzley coming in, like as Kryn is getting everything situated at the helm, engrossed in everything, just this human blur, uh, going going inside this vessel, and you take the stairs up. You see this one at the very top of the stairs, this one ladder, and it goes up, and the space here is very large, and you do not know how they got the bed up here. That is a California king on a frigate.
Space magic, it's crazy, man.
There is a small aquarium off to one side, no fish in it yet. And a like definitely this was whoever it was that handed this off to Grace was using these quarters beforehand. Because there's even and it was to their specifications, because there's a jacuzzi tub in your particular quarters.
Damn, it's good to know people. I'm gonna drop off my back and just very nonchalantly come back down and meander around the place. I'll have enough time to go check out the weapons and stuff and my spot. I want to see what the rest of the ship's like and who they got working here.
And on that note, before everybody meets each other, we're going to take a little break, folks. So please go ahead, refresh, grab yourself a snack, hit the head, and be back here in about 10 minutes, and we will see how this crew braces for first contact with one another. Take care, folks, and we'll see you soon.
Right here. When you're riding out to battle, whether you're attacking or defending, you have to be aggressive. You have to be going full out, non-stop. We Krogans could do that no problem, but some of you other species aren't so lucky. For you, I recommend Warmonger, the strongest energy drink you can buy. One 12-ounce bottle will keep you going all day long. Drink it, and you'll almost be as powerful as me. Almost. Available exclusively at the Zakira Cafe. Get yours now, or get left behind.
I'm Commander Shepard, and this is my favorite store in the Citadel.
And we're back, everybody. Hope you are stretched, refreshed, bioed, and are ready for shenaniganry and or possible murder. Your doctor is standing by.
But as we have come back aboard this vessel, I believe our gun happy human is wandering about the vessel. Where are you headed?
I am gonna head the farthest away from the weapons bay to start with, or the weapons area. And I'm gonna circle my way back.
Okay, so heading away from targeting,
Mhm.
you are the furthest away would be, surprise, surprise, the cargo hold. So you head down to the hold. Tazik, what? Please describe the noises that Etzli hears before she sees you.
Just hearing a lot of like clanging, sounds like things are being thrown, like picked up, set down. So like a whole range of like dings of like different metals and things occurring where you're like, is somebody just like chucking pieces around a room?
So normal sounds.
Fully normal. This, you should be used to this.
I don't know what cargo bays the two of you have been in, but this is interesting. So yeah, Etzli, as you come down again, despite this not being a Normandy, every frigate class has that freight elevator of doom on board. It's how it is how you contain a very angry Krogan when you have to have a group meeting. Because there's that viewport that opens up, but the door doesn't open up first. So yeah, no, you get down there, you hear this noise, it opens up first to the armory, which has all of these wonderful bells and whistles that you can play with for smaller arms and armor.
Of course,
you see
of course.
a reinforced firing range for weapons testing, and then all of this noise as you turn the corner. Tazik, what does Itzli see?
Itzli sees a Solarian that has started reorganizing where everything is in the various containers, and probably and the Elcor shaped power armor to the side, being like, "Hold this!" Hands like a big piece of something to the power armor, and it's like, why would they put this capacitor next to these connections? None of this makes sense. If you were putting something back together, you would want these. And it's just like completely ranting out loud as shifting, and you're just like see a mess of stuff where like there's maybe some order to the chaos, but not to somebody who maybe isn't this Solarian.
Now I'll walk up and be like, oh, looks like you're doing some redecorating in here.
Hello. Like Jolts turns around, is holding like a wrench very, very close. Like,
I made sure to say something after you came out from under like a table so you wouldn't like hit your head.
Appreciate that. It's happened to me before.
Hi, I'm Etzli.
And he's like staring, waiting to see if you're gonna say like mouth half open, like, I'm Lodan.
Who are you?
I'm Lodan Yelzik. Yeldan Lozik Hodal Delsa Inos Tazik, but you can just call me Tazik. Are you also part of this, whatever we're about to do?
this like suicide mission sort of Black Ops deal we're on, yeah, absolutely.
I feel like we have at least a 50% chance of survival.
Yeah. I'd go more 30, but I like her optimism. I like her optimism. So who's your friend over here?
Oh, this is Argos. I just recently finished constructing him.
Oh, impressive. Very large.
There's a lot of the heavy lifting for me because sometimes you have to move a lot of equipment. These things happen.
No, I totally understand. Wow. How long did it take you?
I'm not sure that I think in the concept of time because sometimes you just drink a lot of caffeine, and I don't really know how well that works with my metabolism because that's not my area of specialty. I'm more of an engineer with a focus on armor, but it did get finished.
You know, it's all that matters, I guess. Awesome. So you said engineer, so I guess you're just going to be like any specialty or just overall?
My main focus is armor and drones, and then like a little drone rises up from behind one of the tables further back. Oh, that's Carl. He's been with me for a long time. He's my emotional support drone.
Very important to have, especially when things aren't going right. I understand. Hello, Carl.
Helps to bounce ideas off of him sometimes. But yes, our armor, my main focus is armor, but I can do other things. And do you happen to have an M25 capacitor with you?
Ask me later. I need to unpack first. I don't know what I have capacitors, but I don't know if I have that capacitor.
We should compare notes. Also, it's nice to meet you. What do you do?
Hi, I'm Esley. I do a lot of weapons smithing, mostly mods. I'm mostly a mod maker. And you know, good with weapons, just normal things. Nothing as nearly as impressive as your friend here.
Just like pats Argos on the side.
It's yeah, no, I'm just walking around seeing who's here on the ship. So it's nice to make your acquaintance, Tazik.
You as well.
Oh, sorry, Argos and Carl.
Carl dips his head like if a drone can do that.
But again, Carl, last I checked, is in recon mode.
Yes, Carl. Context for everyone: Carl is a drone currently made for recon.
So it has this sort of wider head, and is more almost like V-shaped, and just sort of like does the hover equivalent of like a slight bow.
Yeah. Exactly. It's just like hover. Makes like a little clicking noise, like do 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 do. And but oh, I didn't even think to check for anybody else. I really wanted to know what they'd equipped us with, and I had to come look. So that's right. I guess there are other members of this crew we should maybe meet.
I mean, only if you want. I assume we're gonna have some team meeting at some point.
This is true, and I should looks around at all the things spread out. Like, I should put some of this back. I've been reorganizing. They didn't really. It didn't make any sense how they decided to categorize all of this, but I'll make sure to put a legend together. It'll be fine.
Absolutely. And in my head, I'm thinking I have never once thought to ever label anything that's not been with like masking tape and like a Sharpie. So that's impressive. All right. Well, I'm gonna head out, see if there's anybody else to talk to see that's on the team. But it's nice meeting you, Tazik. I'm sure we'll be getting to know each other very soon. I will walk backwards and then turn around and head back.
So as you head back, let us check in with our Krogan, who just left Buttercup and is exploring the ship.
Yeah, Bars has made his trying to make his way towards wherever the engine room is. He wants to go and assess that, take a look at what the ship's equipped with, and cast his judgmental eye over it.
All right. It's not far from your quarters. It's like again, you can feel the hum.
Yep, he wanted to be right next to it.
And as you turn one corridor, there she is in all of her over inelegantly engineered glory. It's not a mess by your standards, but it's definitely something that has had more money than science thrown at it. As like you can already tell, like she is not fast. However, stopping her, if you do not have control of her, is going to be an issue. Because once she gets going, she wants to stay going. Like, this is Newton on steroids.
Taking a look over this, he has just the grin like a kid in a candy store, and immediately pulls out a data pad and sets to examining everything that has been installed, making notes and jotting down any ideas he can come up with as to ways to improve it, ways to get better performance out of it, and ways to make it go faster.
Go ahead and give me an engineering roll, and since you're taking your time at advantage.
Okay. 21.
Nice. From everything between the scanning of the room, also bringing up the specs of the vessel, you've got some room to improve. Again, the ship's range is extensive. Its fuel capacity is far outclasses what this ship needs. You also, in bringing up the specs, find that you actually have surveillance drones and probes on board. So, like, if you want to maybe make some modifications, you could possibly use this as a mining vessel. If you need the extra cash. However, like, she is slow. Like, she is not nimble, and she is not fast. Like, however, she's also only okay when it comes to armor. Like, she's not the worst in her class, she's not the best in her class. There's many different ways to take her. So you have a suite of being able to come up with all sorts of ideas as to what improvements you want to put on this bird.
This is going to be what he is spending the next period of time doing until somebody comes and interrupts him. He is a tech nerd with a big project in front of him. He is absolutely in his element right now. So he's making his notes. His focus is going to be on anything that he can do to make it go faster, but he's not about to start messing around with it just yet. Definitely wants to take stock of who the hell the rest of the crew is and what we're actually doing here before he starts pulling things apart and putting it back together again. But for anyone who wanders down here, they will find him deep into this documentation process unless otherwise disturbed.
Okay. Just want to check in with Kryn. Are you obsessing over your helm, or are you wandering anyplace else?
Once Kryn fully establishes that everything is in order, and he quickly programs has the VI begin the process of programming some simulation tests for later that they're going to work on, but they're going to leave and find a room for themselves. Something not doesn't need that much room, just as far as being an underwater species, just a place to float there and sleep because they know they're going to spend most of their time in the bridge.
Okay, so you're looking for not a lot of space.
Mm-hmm.
Do you want full amenities, or do you just want like a broom closet?
Well, this one doesn't really need a bed or anything
You
of that
have
sort.
that hover tech.
Yeah.
So
So this one just needs a room to be in, to have notes to put their notes, and a bathroom to cleanse themselves.
okay. There you find what is probably like the guest holdings aboard this ship. That's what they're intended. They're like real Spartan.
Mm-hmm.
Have the basic amenities, not too much room.
Mm-hmm.
It's not too far away from the med bay, and therefore it's also not too far away from the helm. So it's like middle distance, not the closest room, not the farthest.
Perfect. Definitely works out. I mean, right space. I'm not only near the helm, but also near the doctor. We can hang out. By hang out, I mean they're gonna go to the helm. I'm busy there, but anytime.
Okay. And as you are laying claim, let's check in with the doc. What is Athoru up to?
The Othoru found the room closest to the med bay. Hope and like it's like, well, you put an actual med bay. Is there a room like attached?
There is a room attached. This was definitely designed by humans. The room attached is not for living. It is for crashing in. It has not a bed, but a really comfy couch. It has a small desk, a small standing shower, small wash basin, just enough to, I'm going to go and get a caffeine nap and then be back on shift. Then the other room is, you're thinking this room was not necessarily for the quote unquote captain of the ship, but definitely for the second. As you can tell, the amenities in here are nice, but it's not nearly as spacious.
Norbert, would you be so kind as to adjust the humidity and remove it from the room attached to the back of the med bay? It would be my pleasure.
Certainly, Doctor.
And then she will start rearranging the furniture in the room behind the med bay. That's the crash pad. Because now this is going to be her space. Like, nope, this is mine. I can adjust this as much as I want. And starts pulling from like random pockets. And you realize that coat shouldn't have that many pockets that are coming out of it. But then there's something a little off about the appearance of the coat itself. And she's like, well, they only have standard med gel. Ugh. And she like pushes it to the side and starts pulling out her supplies. She's like, here, we'll stack this here and then arrange. And Norbert, if you could all any medical records for the crew would be appreciated.
So far, the other members of the crew have yet to sign in.
There's a slow, like, turn and glare at, like, the computer system. Not glaring at Norbert, but just glaring at this ineffectiveness is like, Norbert, please make an all-call to all members of the crew that they need to check in with their medic to ensure that their medical history is updated.
Would you like an all call, or would you like me to mail them?
no in all call. I refuse to take off on this vessel until all members are healthy to do so. And I don't care if we don't have a captain. Medic trumps everybody.
Certainly, Doctor. And then, like, there is just I love this because in every room aboard the vessel, there are a number of rooms that we have not even touched. There is just, hi, this is Norbert, your ship's VI. The Dr. Sewell would like for all those aboard who are planning on serving to sign into the computer system that medical records may be released for the doctor's purview before shoving off.
Kryn hears and goes, "No one checked in. She is going to be very angry." And Kryn, I'm assuming, you already, Doctor, you already have Kryn's medical records because we work together.
Yeah, probably.
So it's like, and then he's gonna put it on the all call. Since all of you are going to meet the doctor, I should know I will be in the bridge, but this will be your pilot, Kryn. Good to meet all of you. I will ensure we will fly this particularly sturdy, although slow vessel towards our destination, wherever that they may be. Goodbye. Beep.
In response to the summons by Norbert, Bars currently has his head stuck deep inside a panel that he's pulled off to try and assess some of the wiring in there. So there's just kind of echoey, tinny call that just rings back out, yelling back to
Norbert. We already spoke earlier. I'm fine. I'm busy.
Registering. Fine and busy. Would you like me to just grant the doctor permission for things?
Yeah, that's fine. Yes, give the doctor permission for things. Sure.
Acknowledged.
He's not going to regret that at all. No.
The one thing that you can say that whatever crew did well, the cable management is immaculate. That like someone with obsessive compulsive disorder definitely went through here.
And they even did the little fancy printed labels on all the wiring. This is good work.
Color coded to the nines.
Because of how many like cords on this vessel, like there's different prints, and each print signifies everything that you need to know electrically. Like, you know, so that is the one thing they did well. It may not be engineered well, but the cable management is immaculate. Norbert just comes up. Bars has checked in and released medical data.
Thank you, Norbert. I'll be again checking this, and just like starts going through all of the Krogan's current medical history.
The medical history for Bars is a litany of reset broken bones and a genuinely disturbing number of burn injuries.
I also want to, at this point, for those of you who aren't familiar with Mass Effect, Krogans have extensive bone density, so him experiencing a broken bone would essentially be a fatality to a human.
And like, it kind of not really ignoring Norbert, but kind of putting Norbert to the side. Dr. Thoreau like opens their own Omni tool, is like, notation, evaluate Draconis Bars for possible calcium deficiency. The number of broken bones on this Krogan seems excessive. We wish to avoid this at all possible. Also, make notes to update and hide multiple vital bottles of Omnigel in various engineering ports and find how many fire extinguishers are nearby.
There is a fire extinguisher on this vessel every 25 feet.
Thank you, Norbert.
You're welcome.
And then just goes back to sorting things and making life better for themselves.
Let's check in with Edsley. Where are you going, and have you acknowledged the all call?
Acknowledged it, sure. It happened. And I keep on moving. I just keep looking for more people. Just meandering my way through the ship. I'll get to the dock eventually, I'm sure.
So you're going. I'm sorry. You're going from the cargo bay. You will go up. You're the first one to visit this deck, and this is kitchens, stowage. There's a rec room. It has a full bar, an old style jukebox, small dance floor. There's a claw machine. There's an air hockey table. Again, definitely made by humans. It's fully stocked. There's a reading nook with like a velvet curtain, so you can just like try and block everyone out. So yeah, no, there's a lot of this, and yes, Coldrake, there is a custom made arcade machine. It's Blasto branded.
Looking at seeing all of this, I'm like, wow, this is like really stocked up. And then like my eyes start to narrow. And I'm thinking of the time where we all got served a bunch of steak and lobster before they told us where our next mission was going to be back in the day. And I'm like, yeah, I know what this is about. You can't fool me. I will play on that claw machine, though.
Yeah, no, the kitchen is like, this is nicer than any kitchen you've seen on any vessel. Like, and the stowage, like the pantry for the dry goods is, I am not exaggerating, it is about the size of a standard quarters. They're, for a small crude vessel, this thing has lots of stores for food, a surprising amount of spices, from varied planets. Things are very well labeled with all sorts of different toxic symbols. And there's even like a full on like HUD within the pantry that you can interact with to, you know, hi, what can I eat in here? So go ahead.
Which is very important.
And please give me a perception check. 26. Holy cow. Okay. You notice that in this pantry there is a cupboard that has 3 padlocks on it. That looks like it was installed after everything else.
Well, isn't that curious? And oh man, and am I curious? But I've gotta. I'll be back. Claw machine, you guys, I'll be back.
There's a walk-in refrigerator freezer. You can definitely note that the sound coming off of this is extensive. But from being in it versus being out of it, it's almost quiet. But being in there, it is loud. But yeah, no one on that deck. And then you go up a deck. And there you find, like, that's where the med bay is, that's where the helm, the bridge, your weapon station, it's all there. And depending on which direction you go is who you will bump into.
If I catch a glimpse of the med bay, it definitely wide avoidance of that at the moment, at least.
Okay.
Like, that's a whole can of worms I don't want to get into right now.
We're going to switch over. Is Tazik just going to town on these crates? Has Tazik acknowledged the all call? What's going on with Tazik?
So technically, Tazik has acknowledged the all call, but from the time that the others have moved on, this has happened, Tazik has gotten stuck trying to move some things and is like wedged in between two crates and is trying to get Argos to help move them enough to get out. So when the all call comes on, Tazik's like, Carl, you got this. And I don't know how sophisticated the drone's electronic system is, but it attempts to have a conversation with Norbert.
That is the wrong system to have a conversation with Norbert. Carl has, like, again, it's a drone. It has very specific understandings and capabilities. You've actually put more personality into Argos and more capabilities with the suit. But the two VIs do try and talk to one another. Now we are going to roll something very special. It is one of the things I love about my games. This is the happy sad die. This tells me what happens when these two VIs interact. I'm going to roll it now.
It's fine.
That is the saddest face. I have news. The news is that the two VIs are currently indisposed, as they're having to create their own language between one another, which means they're going to have a language that only they speak, that none of you will be able to comprehend, and that these two semi-smart systems are going to have a private language once this is over.
I would like at this point to point out we are 2 hours into episode 1 and Mandy has doomed the universe.
This is not what I thought.
To avoid a physical. I would like to point this out. To avoid a physical.
You created, to avoid a physical, you set upon another AI monstrosity upon the universe.
In fairness to myself, it wasn't because I was deliberately ignoring, it's because I'm stuck and I'm focused on trying to get unstuck.
That makes it better. Yeah.
I thought clearly after all of this is done, I'm gonna realize that I haven't put enough time into working on Carl. Carl's gonna need some upgrades. But the fallout of this situation has to happen first before that realization happens. Well, this is not what I thought was gonna happen.
Yes. Doc, since you're the one that's interfacing with Carl the most, please give me a perception check.
Carl or Norbert?
Norbert.
Oh, I would, thank you for that. I will, roll a perception check. Yes, this is going to go interestingly. Oh, I have that skill. 21.
You notice, the Mass Effect equivalent of the beach ball of death, when it comes to Norbert's terminal.
She will look at that and pull up her own Omni tool to just do a quick diagnostic on, how bad this is going to be.
Give me an electronics check.
We shall see how this goes, everybody.
21, blackjack again.
Yeah.
Norbert is doing extensive work of some sort and is incapable of answering any request right now.
Makes a note. And just goes to like the basic computer station, not Norbert's, but like the basic computer station, and pulls up some schematic of the ship to see if there's anybody currently suffering in and not moving. Because something has gone wrong somewhere.
Things seem optimal in most locales. There is a tiny individual that has some movement down in the cargo hold.
Some, but not a lot.
Some, but not a lot.
There's a sigh. And then just I can access the communications on the ship without using.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. It's like, can somebody please help who's ever trapped in the cargo hold, because I think they may have caused Norbert to go into a spiral.
We haven't even taken off yet, and something's broken.
GM, which one of us is closest to the... Oh, wait, I should probably...
The sad face was prophetic, as it would be Bars, who is closest.
I mean, somebody's stuck. Bars is going to respond to this. Like this is his skill set. He's gonna.
Yeah.
And I think the doctor would respond, was like, something is broken, and she would just like, for not even realizing she hasn't taken her hand off the comm yet, it just goes like, well, what else do you expect from a human-made vessel that's been slapped together with duct tape and a prayer?
And then there's another beep from Kryn, goes like, this one acknowledges that. Beep.
Yeah.
Would that have been an all call to go help someone?
Yeah, she would have accessed the compute, like...
Yeah, it would... I think that would have been an all call.
Yeah, it's just like a straight intercom access, like, there's somebody who's trapped.
Would Tazik have heard it is kind of what I'm...
Yeah.
And also,
go ahead and give me a perception check at disadvantage.
Yeah, and I think if because I'm not exactly sure how many people are on the ship, I'm also going to head over there to the cargo to see if I need to help somebody.
11. You heard that there was something going on over the intercom, but you didn't necessarily catch what was said.
Okay, well, then I wouldn't have reacted to it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there's like a discussion going on, but you are trying to interact with Argos at this moment. Things are kind of clumsy because Argos is good at moving very large, very heavy things and not having to worry about things getting squished. So this industrial grade power armor, having to do fine movements to not crush its creator, is also causing it a bit of a, as the humans would say, conniption.
Humans.
So, Bars, you get there first. You have the stride. You have the initiative.
Yeah, he strides into the cargo hold, grumpy and annoyed at having being pulled away from the task he was enjoying, and looks around, and I presume see this Elcor shaped power armor somewhere in the room.
It is not subtle, and you can see that its forelimbs are carefully balancing this one crate, and with its heavy hydraulics, trying its best to just gently shift this box out of the way of something.
So, question, and this may be more of a question for Tazek. How obvious is it that Argos is mechanical and not an Elcor in power armor?
Oh.
Mm.
That's a good question. Well, I would have designed it to be like an Elcor. So I guess it wouldn't be obvious.
Go ahead and give me a engineering test, Tazek, and let's see just how realistic this is. And because you took time on it, we're going to take the higher number. That's a 24. So unless you are really giving this thing a once over and up close, no, that's just an Elcor in like military grade heavy armor. Like this is like the equivalent of an Elcor shock trooper.
Then Bars will walk up next to Argos and start helping brace this crate and say,
You're a little small compared to most Elcor I've seen. You're the runt.
Now, Tazek, we discussed before this game began that you did put a VI in this armor.
Yes, I did.
Now, would you like to RP this VI, or would you like me to RP this VI?
I feel like it'll be funnier if you do it. I will say that I tried to make it sound like an Elcor, but I am a Solarian.
Distressed but politely. This one is not a runt. This one is custom.
I have no idea what you mean, but you don't look very stuck. Is there someone else down here, or are you the one who we were called to help?
And
Politely,
Tazek would have said something here.
Yeah. No.
But that's about it. It would just be high pitched.
Mid sentence, you hear a high pitch from Tazek. Politely, my creator has gotten themselves in a predicament.
Create it like your parent? Is there another Elcor down here? I don't see one.
Desperate. Parent, yes. Elcor, no.
I have a lot of questions, and I'm really not sure I want the answers.
Politely, this will be a long discussion later.
he will call out at this point.
Who else is down here? Who's stuck?
You just hear like a squeaky. The crates are too close. I couldn't fit through. I just need like 3 inches of space that I can squeeze myself out.
And Bars will reach into this gap between the crates and just try to grab by the scruff of the clothing and pull Tazik out.
You are more than strong enough. There is no need for any kind of check.
I imagine Bars just has Tazik by like the scruff of the neck, just holding her up. Like
I'm like a couple, like what, a foot off the ground or something.
Oh shit!
Thank you so much. I didn't mean to get stuck. Obviously, I need to work on Argos's fine motor control because this did not work out the way that I thought it was. But I really appreciate you pulling me out. Hi, I am Hotan Helzik.
in the middle of this sentence, he just lets go.
And like I land on my feet, but I'm like, okay, I understand. Thanks.
And that's when Kryn, you show up.
Mm-hmm. This one has come to hello. This one is Kryn, the pilot. This one has come to assist. Is assistance no longer required?
Tazik just points at Bars and is like, now we good. Well, poor definition of good.
That is fantastic. This one is glad to meet the current crew. Good day. I was not aware Elcor would be with us. Acknowledge the strength of your people.
Apparently, the Solarian is the Elcor's parent. I think it's best we don't ask any more than that. That
is strange because this one has many questions.
Oh, there are questions, and there are questions you don't answer. This is one of them.
This one acknowledges. This one thinks it's appropriate for us to have a team meeting. Perhaps this one suggests we all go to medical bay because this one knows a doctor, and she gets very angry if no one responds to her.
Did she? I said Carl. Did Carl?
Who is Carl?
You know?
You can see that Carl is hovering near the interface for Norbert, and they still are just static, and you can see the little beach ball of death on Norbert.
What is that?
Good job, Carl. I knew you could do this.
And you see Kryn just float there, like, and it's not really speaking. It's like they're gonna say something, then just floats and just like medbay and just floats away.
Bars will, having seen this, with just a deep sigh, walk over to where Carl and Norbert are interfacing. And Carl's small, right? Like a small drone.
Again, it's a recon drone. It's about roughly the size of the torso of, I say, a 10-year-old human.
Okay, then he will just grab like Carl around like a dish and just attempt to pull Carl away.
Oh, again, you are strong enough to pull Carl away.
Yeah.
All right, Med Bay, let's go.
Tazik just like, okay. It's like clearly like, oh, this didn't go well. We'll follow along, and Argos will come with, and I assume that Bars is carrying Carl.
And yes, now this very motley crew, with a very specific exception, is making its way to Medbay. Let's check in with the exception. Where are you going, and what are you up to?
Going, and what am I up to? Doing the exact opposite of everyone else, in wholly avoiding the med bay at the moment, and instead doing more pleasant things like anything else, visiting any other place on this ship.
One, you have definitely found the helm, the different control bays, what is most likely your weapon station. Um, they spent a lot of money on the station for this console. Like, this is where the money definitely got spent, along with the amenities. Um, they did not spend the money on necessarily the base frame of the vessel, but they tried to upgrade her as best they could. Um, it's nice. It's
I
got
mean, they focus on
decent
the important
tolerances.
things.
Yeah, again, it's solid. It'll get the job done. You can probably make a few improvements, but not many. Um, then you also find a bit of a ways away, opposite side of the ship from the medical bay, what is most likely what was intended as the captain's quarters. You see, no one has claimed these. Like this is, it's not as large as the space that you have laid claim to, but it's nice. It's like it's got its own like private office, a sort of like mini atrium you go through to get into there. A nice full shower and bath, decent sized bed, a large, another large, but much larger fish tank, no fish, and a series of bookshelves and display shelves.
Man, these people who created this, they knew how to party. This is a good place. And it's and no one's here either. Gosh, who the hell is on this ship? And then I will continue moseying around, seeing what there is to see, and meeting like the rest of like the crew, unnamed NPC crew, and just like saying hi.
There's no one
Nothing?
but you on this vessel. It's no
Oh.
no one but y'all.
Damn, not even the cook? Damn.
Nope.
We have 5 very specific diets on this, 6 very specific diets on this ship, and no cook. Oof. Then who put those padlocks there? I could have sworn it was the chef. But now, And I'll continue walking.
Are you trying to hide from the rest of the crew?
No. I'm trying to hide from the medical bay, not the rest of the crew. It just so happens that they're going to the medical bay.
I'm going to roll the happy sad die to see if your paths converge.
Okay.
That is the angriest of faces. Yes, your paths converge. Crin's the first one up the stairs, so that you immediately like are in eye line of one another.
You're muted.
Sorry, I was floating in silence for a second there. Okay. Human, this one is Kryn, the pilot. Can I assume you are part of our crew?
Yes, Hanar, Kryn. I am a human, Estley. It's nice to make your acquaintance.
Fantastic. I should note before any future conversations or possible friendships that may occur, I am familiar, this one is familiar with Earth humor. And this one would like to acknowledge that if you call this one a jellyfish at least once, this one will shoot you out the airlock.
And I will chuckle at that. I will say, it's like I'll make sure to avoid such vernacular, and you can certainly try to throw me out of an airlock. Good luck with that.
And then
but it's nice to make your acquaintance.
There's a free floating. There's like this place is immaculate. There's like a small not. I'm gonna assume like there's like a little vase or some sort of decorative thing. Like, yeah, this is well nice, but they try to put something nice in like maybe a small vase. And as soon as you say that, the vase floats up and flings across to the captain's quarters and crashes against the wall. This one makes good on their threats, and floats away past to the med bay.
And then I presume coming
Oh.
next around the
Yeah.
corner, will,
These bars.
and Bars, who just kind of stops for a moment.
Well, kick my quads, Etsley! They moved
Bars,
you
they
into the
brought you
ship.
here? Yeah, they did. And like I go up and I like, you know, dap you up in the way we know, and it's just like,
just everything.
hey.
Oh shit! I'm glad there's at least one competent person on this ship because we are fucked, Etsley. We are so fucked. This one,
You know,
this one.
I went down. Go ahead. No, we're just talking
Gestures
over each
back
other. It's fine. Go ahead.
Gestures back to Tezik.
I just had to pull this one out of between some crates. That's what we're starting with.
That's what we think we're starting with. Little do we know there's a VI revolution happening also on the ship. Oh my
Like, a lot
gosh.
of mistakes were made. Okay.
There's red wallpaper suddenly appearing all over the ship with like this AI with like just staring off to the sun. The future is now.
Oh my gosh. I am. You know, I thought something was suspicious when I saw the rec room stuff, but like, you know, hey, at
Wait,
least
there's
we'll
a
make
rec
it good.
room?
We'll make it good. There's a rec room. No, there's like this big room just over there. This is a nice place, and there was just no one here. It's crazy. Did you bring Buttercup? Is Buttercup here?
Oh, you know, Buttercup's in my quarters. She's set up. I didn't want to bring her around with me because, you know, new people, she gets a little antsy sometimes, but I figured it was safest. But no, she's
Totally
she's here.
understandable.
She's got her bed. She'll be doing a good one. Now I've been down in the engine room this whole time.
Oh, anything good down there?
You know, it ain't bad. It needs some work, but there's potential. There's some stuff I can work with.
Hey, hell yeah. Oh man, I was starting to get worried. That Hayanar just tried to threaten me. It was actually kind of cute, actually.
Oh, that's adorable. Well, I think this might be all of us. We're heading towards the med bay to check in and take stock of what the hell we're working with.
Yeah, well, hopefully something good. Apparently we're all we got. They didn't even get us a crew for this. We are the crew.
Wait, there's no crew?
There's no one else on this damn ship.
Then who's cooking?
That's what I'm saying.
Well, I'll
I
tell
don't
you
even know.
this, it
Hi,
ain't me.
Tazik.
Waves from the background, but doesn't say anything considering what the last 5 minutes have been. It's just like, hi.
Yeah, there's an Elcor too. So it's a little one.
We have an
I think it might be a.
Oh,
I think it might be a kid.
and I'll look at Tazik.
Don't ask. Apparently, it's a Solarian's kid. I don't want to know.
Yeah, no, how very interesting. Well, you know, maybe the doc will be able to explain that physiology.
I really hope she can't.
Well, I guess just trying to avoid the med bay, but I guess let's go.
Yeah, get it out the way.
You all enter the med bay. And once you're all there, Norbert finally chimes up. Ah, first contact protocol enacted. Once you're all in, the doors to the med bay are locked. And then playing pre-record. And a Taurian face appears. Female, middle-aged. Greetings. I am Vice Admiral Vatera Rix. Personally, I thank you for undertaking what is going to be an arduous journey. The Council, in their infinite wisdom, continues to ignore clear signs of danger, not just to Council's space, but to the galaxy as a whole. You have been contacted. Some of you compensated somewhat. Most of you will be compensated later for a series of tasks. Some of these will put you in harm's way. Others will hopefully recover things that have been stolen or lost. That way, the galaxy may be better prepared for what is coming. You will find now on each of your Omni tools briefings on the 3 things the current Entente are most interested in. You will complete your tasks as you choose. You are a group of professionals. We ask that you act like it. If there are things that you need, please feel free to have Norbert send us a communique. The communications software in him is solid, and we'll make certain that those communications will not be intercepted. And if they are, they'll have a hell of a time unencrypting them. I hope that you're able to complete these missions, and at the very least, not murder each other in the process. This has been one of your hosts. May the gods be with you. End of communique.
That scene comes back, just walls covered in blood.
Norbert, please update your programming to never lock the doors of this medbay without my permission again. Or I will rip you out of this medbay. Myself.
We'll attempt to comply.
Thank you. Hello, I'm Dr. Thurusul, and she's like standing there and looks very professional for a drow, although she looks again more olive than green. Long black coat, and just turns and says, I don't wish to bother anyone for extensively. However, I have 3 rules for any group of people I work with. Number 1, never outpace your medic. Number 2, make sure your medic knows all of your medical history so that they can save your ass. And number 3, if all else fails, shotguns are a viable way of going forward. I already have the medical history for our dear friend, Mr. Bars. Is there anyone else? And, of course, Kryn. Is there anyone else who would like to share their medical history with me now?
Did Carl not send it? He was talking to Norbert.
I think Carl and Norbert may have had a conversation that ended up with Norbert in the spinning ball of death.
Damn it, Carl. I need to upgrade you. Let me... It's like... My apologies. I am Ladan Yiltik. Podal. Dilsa Inostazik. It's just like slowly getting quieter as you're staring at them. Like, but you can call me Tazik.
It's a pleasure to meet you. And like, how tall is Tazik? Because Dr. Sewell isn't overly tall, but like Drell are taller than a lot of humanoids.
Yeah, and I believe Solarians top out at 5'5".
Yeah.
Do they? Because I thought I saw something that I would be like a middle-sized Solarian. So I just think that Tazik would have been interpreting like the tone and the look and be like, I tried to do my homework, I swear, but apparently it didn't happen. So it's just kind of like shrinking in as like introducing themselves and then being like, I'll get it to you in just a second.
And I think Tazik would notice that the humidity in this room is not standard for what you would expect for a space vessel.
Oh yeah, would be like,
because for you it would be really hella dry and you would feel really uncomfortable.
yeah, so you're going like has this whole thing, and as is going to like, I guess to send you the information from their Omni tool, finally like has processed through the last like 3 things that have happened. We got locked in, and somebody spoke to us, and then realized Carl didn't do his job and Carl needs an upgrade, and then got actually more than 3 things. Got stared down by the doctor and was like, it's exceptionally dry in this room. Have you been adjusting the life support systems?
For my spaces only.
Okay, well, unless absolutely necessary, I will probably not be spending much time in the med bay because this is distinctly uncomfortable. But
Don't worry,
understand.
I will ensure that these particular bio beds will not interfere with your biochemistry.
Perfect. But I will insist, unless it's something that absolutely needs to be in here, or I'm dying, that any conversations necessary from a medical standpoint happen in some place with a more moderate combination of life support factors, so that both of us can be mildly uncomfortable instead of one of us being extremely uncomfortable.
That is fair and valid, acceptable.
Thank you. And like taps the last thing on the Omni tool, is like, cool. And this is Argos. Points to the giant.
Your power armor is very interesting. What are you powering it with?
So I might have jury rigged a couple different power systems together. I'm not sure all of them are legal.
Legal is not a concern.
I'll send you the specs later.
I look forward to reading them.
So that's not an Elcor?
That is not an Elcor.
That makes sense. Now it is becoming clear. This one had so many questions that have now been answered.
And Tazik like does like jazz hands, is like, I made him.
Is this one combat capable? Is this combat capable, this creation of yours?
Ian, I forget what the specs of the power armor are.
If you choose to, you can enter the suit, in which case the 2 of you together are highly combat capable. On his lonesome, he's pretty much a walking wall that can lift very heavy things.
Got it. Well, I mostly built him to help me with moving around large weights and potentially as a layer of protection. But there is a feature and mode in which we can, with our powers combined, be more effective on the battlefield. But that is really only as needed.
So when you form the head, you become combat capable.
Yes.
Fantastic.
And I think at that point, like, Athuru would just kind of look at Etzli.
And I would look at you.
It's a pleasure to meet you.
A pleasure to meet you also, Doctor. I'm Etzli.
Athuru.
Nice med bay you got going on here.
You're the only member of the crew that has not yet updated your medical permissions.
I'll give it to you eventually.
I need
settling in.
Your permission to treat you in the event that you get shot, stabbed, blown up, incinerated, or have a violent interaction with a biotic.
All the time, Doc. You'll get it. It's just the hassle for me, not so much for you to get you the records.
As soon as you say that, because Kryn knows Othoro, Kryn just floats back. He's like, okay, don't want to be in the middle of this.
I can't treat you or save your life without your medical permission on file. Just sign this.
Unless...
And, like, literally just hands you, like, a data pad. It's just like, just sign this. Thank you.
There you go, Doc.
Pleasure doing business with you. Now, when you get stabbed, shot, blown up, or have a violent interaction with the Varen on the board or an Elcor power armor, I can stop you from bleeding out, at least.
Buttercup would never bite me.
Oh, that's good to know. Then your Varen's name is Buttercup?
I told you that, yeah.
I heard a name, but I apologize. Norbert was slightly unclear. I apologize.
Wait, there is a Varen on board?
Yeah, she's my partner.
In short, your Varen does not go after my tentacles. It has happened before. I will say things may happen if it goes after my tentacles.
That sounds to me like you need to keep your tentacles to yourself.
Kryn floats there angrily.
There is a slight sound of Vivaldi's Four Seasons beginning to play in the background.
I feel.
And Norbert chimes up, "Would anyone like something to eat?"
Is the VI gonna cook for us?
The VI will cook? I have never. Humans.
Norbert,
Humans, why would you have your VIs cook for you?
Norbert, have you been talking to Carl? Because Carl keeps trying to mess with the blender, and it's a bad idea.
No. This one is fully capable of performing most auxiliary duties aboard the vessel. We have a fleet of Loki mechs that have been designed for these purposes.
You know what? Yeah, I'll take a PB&J there, Norbert. Just don't start making it until I get down there. I want to see you make. Hold on. Are we good here? Are we chill?
Yes, that's everything I needed from anybody. If anybody else needs my attention, I will be here and ensuring that none of us die.
I'm with you, Etzli. If they've given the VIs knives, I need to see this shit.
This one will also follow behind because I also, well, this one is hungry and also wants, as our Krogan friend said, see this shit.
Hell, oh here, follow me. I know where it is. Oh, just hold on, Norbert. Start when we get there. Dinner and a show. Hell yeah, let's go.
There's head shaking, and then Arthuru just kind of like goes over to the climate controls to adjust the climates in the med bay so it kind of reaches a more, still slightly drier than normal, but not quite, keeps their space as dry as possible. But.
Mm-hmm.
So as you enter the med bay, from wall panels, they begin to part, and there are 4 Loki mechs that have been heavily modified, especially the hands, that walk out and begin food preparations, and others that just stand at attention waiting for order.
How many fingers do they have?
They have 4.
Okay.
Damn. Okay. This seems like a terrible idea to have this many mechs on a ship, but you know what? I'm willing to see it through.
And you get a bog standard PB&J. But before it's handed over, would you like it sliced,
Of course, I would like it sliced.
Diagonal or half?
Triangle. Diagonally. What am I, a heathen?
Just takes knife, slices, hands you a serviceable PB&J.
Kryn is gonna float forward, and usually Hanar eat live fish, but on a ship they go for like processed and liquefied fish slurry. So I asked for like, may I get a meal of fish, please? Is there a particular species to have available, or is it standard?
We have many, and it just like shows you a large like menu of fish
This
they have in the bar.
is like, is it processed fish or actual fish?
There's a few fresh options. They have an expiration date next to them.
We gotta go
And
through
they're
those
at
first.
They're at the top of the list, and then a variety of different canned and processed fish.
There's a moment where Kryn just stares and he goes, "This one will never say anything wrong about the ship ever again. This is beautiful. May I have the largest one to celebrate?"
Certainly. You say largest one because it's me. This large bluefin tuna just comes out. How would you like it prepared?
Fresh. And Kryn just grabs it. And Hanar eat through osmosis. So you see as he sucks it within himself, and you kind of see the fish inside as it's starting to be slowly digested.
Wondered how that worked.
It's somewhat terrifying. Also, as Kryn almost increases in size.
Yeah.
Just bulks up unexpectedly.
Yeah.
So yeah, as Coldrick points out, like 500 pounds does Kryn put on. Would Bars or Tosic would like anything as the two other Loki mechs step forward?
I think Tosic would, since the Larians are kind of amphibious, would be like, what do you have that would be on my type of menu?
Would you like it by planet, culture, or just a generalized menu?
Can you cross-reference what gets the highest reviews in the most amount of orders around the galaxy?
Processing. Generalized or by Solarian tastes?
By Solarian taste.
Ding! And it just like has this large, massive printout. And yeah, you have a number of different Solarian delicacies that can be made, some that are available at high-end restaurants, not too many, like there's like 4 that can be prepared, and then a bunch of just like staples.
Okay. Would pick like 8 down the list. Not the first choice, partially down, so you can work your way up to the other, to like the nicer foods.
Yeah, the high guy. Okay, yeah, you get essentially a wonderful, because in my mind, based on Solarian culture, again, they're amphibious, but they also live in a variety of wet climes. So this is a sort of Solarian udon that you get.
It's like noodles made out of some specific type of insect or what have you.
Well, the noodles are a combination of vegetable and carbohydrate.
And then
you have a serving of multiple forms of fish with a like crunchy crust of like mealworm over top.
Perfect. Hitting multiple food groups for Solarian. And Tazik's just sitting there like, this is delicious.
Bars?
Give me space cow rump steak, rare, and a bottle of Rincol.
Which brand of Rincol would you like?
House.
Does not
Bottom shelf
process.
shit.
Ah, rock gut. Got it.
There you go.
And yeah, perfectly serviceable. The ring call that you get would probably kill most of the crew. It is even by your standards, high proof trash. Coldrake, it goes beyond degreaser. It is both incredibly acidic and Quarians have to prep before they have the high shelf palatable stuff by taking multiple drugs and are usually out of commission for 3 days. Also, the vomit comes out purple. I did research. And yeah, no, you all have meals. Doctor, are you down there? Or are you still in your med bay?
I think the doctor would come down and probably walk in just as like Kryn absorbs this fish and just kind of goes, all right, you know, they'll be happy for like days on that. And see, you know, like clocks what everyone's eating, you know, doesn't say anything, doesn't bother anybody about what they're choosing to ingest. Kind of raises an eyebrow at the ring call, but doesn't judge the Krogan for drinking it, more the judges the Norbert for having it on the ship. It's like, no, bars can totally drink that, that's fine, but no one else is allowed to have that. It makes a note to like put a warning label on that.
I was about to say, are you gonna start like limiting what we're allowed to like request or get?
The ring call, yes. Nothing else, at least not yet. Unless, of course, she discovers like some actual medical reason why you shouldn't have something, or like why, you know, it's like no, you have an allergy to that, you shouldn't have that, that kind of stuff. But the ring call that could destroy everybody else, no, except for the Krogan, no, she's not. She will, as she like walks by, just kind of like drop a small bottle next to Bars. And it's like just this little tiny vial. It's like, if you want something that will really cause you to have an intoxication, you might try that. I believe it's quite popular with certain members of your species. And we'll walk over and like look at what's available and basically have what amounts to a Drell salad. You know,
and Norbert through the mix makes you an excellent set.
Yeah, and but yeah, leaves that next to Bars only, not next to anybody else.
And as you are all there sitting together in the mess, that is where we're going to call it this evening.
Woo!
So,
Love it.
This has been an absolute blast. Thank you all so much. Let's go around the table. Please tell folks where they can find you, share love, and maybe let's go with the old tradition. One thing that you're interested in seeing in the universe before the season's up. So let's start with our favorite, slightly bloated, um, Hanar. How you
I'm
doing,
sorry.
Voss?
I'm imagining you as like a puffer fish. You just
I'm so happy. Hey guys, this is Jesus. You can find me most places as Arvanis, except for Instagram because someone took the name as J Robotic. I'm part of a podcast called Fanable, where we've been running for about 13, 14 years, playing a variety of different role playing games on the podcast. I also have a YouTube channel called Arvanis, where I post videos on the lore of various war games because I'm also a war gaming nerd. Think that's about. Oh, and one thing I would love to see. Oof. Well, since I'm the pilot, obviously an epic, cool space battle. 100%.
We love space battles, especially
Mhm.
with your heavily modified ship, which will hopefully be even more modified by y'all.
Ooh.
Speaking of someone who does a good deal of mods, that's Esley. Hey, PB, where can we find you, and what would you like to see?
Hi, I'm PB. You can find me at PB Plays Inside on most social media. I'm most active over on Blue Sky. But I also have a Twitter and stuff like that for notifications. You can also find me on twitch.tv/PB Plays Inside, in which I'm currently doing a Mass Effect playthrough. We're in pretty much like the beginning of Mass Effect 2. We put a few hours into it, but and we haven't really done anything huge at the moment. So if that's of any interest to you, make sure to stop by. We're also starting duo GMs with my best friend Nilly starting next week, I think. So I should probably get on that, considering next week is in only a couple of minutes for me. So I should probably see if that's still happening tomorrow. But if that's an interest of you, make sure to stop by twitch.tv at PB Plays Inside. And something that I'm looking forward to in the universe, to see in the universe, I am looking forward to kind of just seeing like the the locations in like my mind's eye that you're going to create for us. I'm just like I'm very interested in how it's all going to look.
Excellent, and someone who is in his own way on the high seas. Hey, pirate, where can we find you, and what would you like to see?
Hi, yeah, Chris Ganeas, Painting Pirate. You can find me at twitch.tv/Painting Pirate or paintingpirate.com for the various other socials, because social media is a dumpster fire and I can't be bothered to list them all. So just find them from the website. They're all on there. You'll find me there over at the Twitch channel tomorrow, 7 p.m. Eastern, where I don't know what I'm doing yet, probably Final Fantasy 14, because I'm back on my bullshit with that. As far as things I'm looking forward to, I'm also looking forward to seeing how the universe as a whole reacts to this eclectic group of fuck ups without a main character protagonist plot armor to protect us.
Someone who has armor, but not necessarily plot armor, is Tazik. Hey, Lady Luck, where can we find you, and what would you like to see?
You can find me around the internet as Lady Luck 34. I stream on Twitch a couple days a week. I'm on Blue Sky, Twitter sporadically, and otherwise hanging out in other places and clipping things. So you can find me doing all of those, all of those things as well. And I'm actually really intrigued by if you're gonna have us run into an actual Spectre, because I feel like that will be an interesting interaction, especially with this crew. Also, now I'm wondering what's going to happen between Norbert and Carl, because I did not know about the happy sad die in advance.
Yes. Amongst many of my many weapons of mass destruction, someone who has so many weapons of mass destruction would be our hostess with the mostest and doctor. Hey, Prax, what are you up to? Where can we find you? What are you doing? And what would you like to see?
Thank you for that wonderful, wonderful transition, Pope. I appreciate it. Also, thanks everybody for volunteering to play over here, and thank you, Pope, for running this wonderful game. As for me, I'm at Deirdre on Twitter, or Prex the Bard over on Instagram, Hive, Blue Sky, all of those places, and Prexgorth Euphoria here on Twitch. Thanks for hanging out on this channel. Thanks everybody for being here. I had so much fun tonight. I am loving how this is all going to kind of slowly develop into a very interesting dynamic. I have like a couple little things that I'm interested to see how they'll kind of fall out. Like, the Krogan has given the Drell Doctor carte blanche for what needs to happen. I'm like, this is gonna be fun. I'm looking forward to the Carl Norbert thing. I'm also looking forward to just Tezik and Bars interacting some more. That will be just quintessentially perfect. Also, Kryn attempting to intimidate anyone. just
It was very good.
very good. Also, for those of you playing at home, Kryn is our face.
I didn't
When you
plan
look
for
at
it, but
this-
apparently.
This will be great, everybody. I can't wait. I'll have so much fun. Also, I always love playing with everybody at this table, and it was a great time to do so. But you can find me next tomorrow over on Wandering DM as I play Flory, our wonderful Ravnos, who is trying to survive getting into the remains of a Sabbat cathedral in Vampire the Masquerade Nightfall for Montreal by Night, Montreal by Night. I'm sure that nothing's going to go wrong there. And then on Saturdays, you can be back here on this channel because I run my little book club, and we talk about books, and we talk about things that we're reading, and all of those kind of fun things. And we will post, and all of the VODs, like you can check out the YouTube, that is up now. You can, if you missed out on anything tonight, this VOD will be up there by tomorrow. And I'll let Pope do his sign-off before I do the rest of the spiel.
All right, folks. If you want to see more, read more, know more, where you can find me, it's Pope World Build all over the internets. I will be happily joining Prax tomorrow night over on Wandering DM for more Montreal by Night. Then if you want to see me continuing wearing this cap, but in a different seat, it's over on Valdrian's channel at 3 p.m. Saturdays, 3 p.m. Eastern. As you get to see the history of Victor, one of the humans that was here, because that's who I'm playing. So you can go and see his prehistory before meeting up with this motley crew and delivering them their flying brick. And thank you all so much for being here. We're live VOD, YouTube stories, nothing without science. You're much a part of this as we are. And just before Prax does the last bit of the spiel, there's one other tradition of mine. There's always a stinger. And so, we see off on some Dust Bowl colony a flyer in someone's hand. It says, "Do you feel lost? Is your body not what it should be? Come and join the Brotherhood." And that's where we'll leave it.
Frowny face.
Yep, sounds like your standard cult. We got this.
Well, that's always a great thing.
Yep.
But after that, so yes, like I said, you will find it on YouTube. We'll also, I also have a Ko-Fi. All of the money from that goes into supporting this channel, doing all of things like all of the overlays, all of the production, all of that good stuff. And you can find, if you want to support us that way, you can also always support us by retweeting our Go Live tweet and sharing around on social media what you thought about this. Also, if you watch this on YouTube, give it a like, drop a comment. I like interacting with everybody over there, and I appreciate each and every one of you. Unfortunately, nobody's up tonight, so we're not going to raid anybody, but I just feel like we should, totally be happy because nobody died and everything is fine for the end of the night, at least so far.
Mhm.
So far.
So far.
So far. All right. We'll see you next time, everybody.
All right. See ya. Bye bye.